So how do you undo mistakes in Integromat? Well, you'll find that there's not a typical undo button like you would find in Microsoft Word or Google Sheets, for example, but there are some things you can do to undo your mistakes while working on your Integromat scenarios. My name's Andy O'Neill. I'm an Integromat registered partner, and I'm going to show you how to undo mistakes while you're working in Integromat. So first of all, one of the things you can do is just refresh your browser after you make a mistake. So let me show you here. I'm going to delete a couple modules here. And let's say I realize, oh, those are the wrong modules. I didn't want to delete those. I want to restore back those modules. So you'll notice I haven't hit save. So what I can do is I can refresh my page, and you'll get a notice that says, do you really want to reload the site? Your changes may not be saved. In this case, that's great because I don't want to save those changes. I'm going to reload the page, and my modules are back. So that's one way to undo mistakes if you haven't saved your work and you want to undo everything you've done so far. Now, another thing you can do is as you're working on a module, let's say I'm working on this module or one that's more complex where I'm mapping data, and let's say I make some mistakes and oops, I've deleted my formula or most of my formula. I don't want to save this, I want to get it back. So one of the things you can do is you can click off of this module and it won't save it. If I hit OK, it's going to save it. But if I click up here and go back in and look at it, you'll see my formula is still intact because I didn't hit the OK button. So when you click OK, that will save whatever work you've done in the module. If you click off of it, you'll lose that work. So just a note to say, if you are mapping really complex modules with, maybe 20, 30, 40 field mappings, my recommendation is after you map 8 or 10, hit save and then hit OK and reopen that module and continue, and hit OK and reopen it. The worst thing that could happen, and I have done this, totally guilty of this, is I map a really complex module and I've mapped 40 or 50 fields and then I accidentally click off the module and all that work is lost and I have to start over. So save often when you're working on complex modules with lots of data mappings. The other thing you can do is you can go right down here to this More menu and click Previous Versions. Now, this will show you every version that you've saved. So here's another case for saving often as you work on your scenarios. So after you map a module, hit Save. After you do the next module, hit Save. Hit Save very often as you work. Because what you can do is you can see a list here of all of the previous restore points for this scenario. And so you can see I was saving, I worked on this last on July 23rd. I saved it 4:15, 4:13, 4:12, 3:55, 3:50, on and on and on. So I was saving very often. What that does is, if I have to restore back to a previous version, the amount of work I lose is less than if I were to save after working an hour. If I would work an hour on it and save it and I had to restore, I would lose that entire hour's worth of work as opposed to maybe losing a few minutes when I save often as I go through and work on my scenario. So there's a couple examples there of saving often when you're working on modules, and it creates a new restore point for your scenario where you can go back in time and undo some things you've done but not lose a whole lot of work. So that is how you hit the undo button in Integromat. It's not really an undo button, but it is a way to undo mistakes and go back to a previous point while you're working on your scenarios. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please comment or ask questions below, and I'll see you next time.